as you can see, now my voice is so much better and so much more lively. You know, that's what we do. Writers, authors, we pull all-nighters writing books. And I was exhausted on our last podcast. We have so many amazing guests coming up. NFL players, NBA players, Major League Baseball players, entrepreneurs who started literally with nothing, slept on the dirt floor of a barn, and ended up selling their company for $31 million. You know, one of the things I've learned since I left my corporate job at American Airlines, out of college, one of the things I've learned is since I started my entrepreneurial journey as an author, as a publisher, is that anything is possible as long as you're telling your God-given story, as long as you're not making things up and you're authentic, anything is possible. And let's face it, there's a lot of people making things up out here. There's a lot of publishers I won't work with, even though I work with, you know, major organizations. I've sold books for my clients to HarperCollins, to McGraw-Hill, but there are publishers that I won't work with. I'll work with some independent publishers, but if someone does not have morals, if they're just in it for the money, but they don't know anything at all about writing, publishing, editing, or journalism, they're just in it to take money. So the very best thing we could do is ask someone, hey, what's your background in this writing thing? You know, do you have a degree in journalism? Are you an editor? Have you published books, meaning published books and sold them? So I don't often talk about my story, but I did sell my first book to a major publisher, my second book, my third book, and I never, ever self-published. I never even would take a self-published book as a representative, a business manager, until this year when I realized that, you know, the internet is just set up to where if you don't leverage it, you can't leverage your sales. And today, people can leverage their sales with a hybrid model and not have to spend thousands of dollars on a publisher and not have to spend $20,000, $30,000 and not have to write a book with AI, you know, which is pulling from background data that might get you in trouble, especially if it's a copyright infringement. So today's authors have a lot of freedom on the Amazon space where we can publish but not self-publish. We can represent authors, sell their books, market their books, and help them grow. So there are several authors like Tony Geary, other authors, Zig Ziglar, lots of authors out there, Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect, who are actually making millions of dollars on their books just by developing intellectual property. So how does that work? If you have a concept, if you have an idea that is truly amazing intellectual property, and it's something that you know is your idea, it's your wisdom, that is the thing to follow. Because people always ask me, what should I do to write my book? Should I use AI? Well, if you use AI, the problem with that is that you are pulling from a collective data bank of knowledge that has been out there in the world prior to you. So kind of like Google in that we get a lot of data and a lot of great information, but at the same time, the thing we run into with intellectual property law is if you pull a paragraph that someone else has written, you could be liable. And I have seen this a million times. This is not just hearsay. I have seen people get cease and desist letters because they didn't quote other people, but they pulled from paragraphs of other books. So you just have to be very careful, and there truly is no way to know who you are replicating if you're truly using AI. So what do we do about that? Because AI is also good for research and statistics and things like that. So how do we handle that? One of the ways we do that is we cover this for authors in our book publishing workshop. So please join us on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. And if you join us, we will answer all your questions on AI. How can you safely and ethically use AI? So I'm president of the AI Association for Ethical Writers, and there is a way where we can ethically use AI in the marketplace, not only to create our books, but to make sure that we are putting honest, authentic things out there. Now, I don't love AI because I think that all of your wisdom and knowledge should come from you. You know, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, whoever you want to talk about, right? Great thinkers, great leaders, Nelson Mandela, anyone that you can think of that had fascinating ideas in this world, Jordan Peterson. You know, you cannot make AI think like the most brilliant genius in the world. So the reason I don't particularly love AI is because I want authors to tap into their brains. Your brain is uniquely yours. There's no one like you, because once you mix your experiences, your lifespan, and all of the things that have happened to you and your thought processes, then your experiences and words and thoughts come out so unique. It's like Elon Musk. How come nobody else created the satellites and the Tesla and all of the Starlink satellites that create the Wi-Fi in millions of homes today? How come no one else created the iPhone but Steve Jobs? There truly are outliers, and you may be one of them. So if you use AI, what that tells me is generally you're just rushing through to try to finish a book. Maybe you've been told that's the way to do it, or you want to test it out. AI is fine for research and development, but not for anything related to your personal story. AI can't tell your personal story, right? AI doesn't know who you are. AI doesn't know your most innermost thoughts. So join us Thursday nights for the On Fire Books Voices Speakers Bureau publishing program. It is an amazing Zoom. You can ask any question you want. It doesn't matter what stage you're at in your book, whether it's the book introduction, chapter 5, chapter 1. You know, building a book is like building a house, and then from there, we have to link it with your speaking career. We have some speakers getting $30,000 an hour. That could be you. That could be you. And guess what? There is no secret except to be authentic. So tune in Thursday night. It's been great talking with you, and I hope I provided some value on this podcast. Stay tuned for our authors coming up in the next episode as we interview so many amazing celebrity and non-celebrity authors about their life, their story, and why they wrote their book.